Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel and this very special video. You know, we're finally there. It's the week before my birthday, my 62nd birthday. And again, a very special video about a face that never ages, eyes that never look older, and a neck that defies the sands of time. And actually, three of the most popular topics about what to do about these areas. And in today's video, we're going to talk about the things to do, the things that I do to keep my skin looking great as I go into my 62nd year. Isn't it crazy how quickly time goes? Well, I've taken these topics and condensed them down in this compilation video with chapters so you can skip around, watch what's important to you, come back to it if you need to, and learn all the things you need to do in perhaps one of the most comprehensive videos I've ever put out. So let's dive right in. Have you noticed your eyes looking tired lately? Maybe some dark circles and puffiness? Or have those fine lines and wrinkles begun to show up and you're just not quite sure if fillers and Botox are the right thing for you? In fact, I receive more compliments about my nice eyes these days than I did when I was much younger. Now, unfortunately for all of us, skin around the eye is very delicate, it's very thin, and it is always the first area on the face to begin to show the signs of aging, mostly because we have dynamic wrinkles when we smile, frown, cry, laugh, what have you. Those can become static wrinkles over time. So dynamic wrinkles then become static wrinkles. And so it's essential that we give the same amount of TLC to the eye area in our skincare routine as we do everywhere else. The first thing I will say is everyone needs to start taking care of their eyes at a young age. Now, I know I have a lot of viewers and subscribers in their 20s and 30s, and you guys are really skin savvy. So some of you already know this, but for the rest of us, fear not. If you've left off taking care of the skin around your eyes, it's never too late to start. There are still many things you can do to help reverse the signs of aging, giving you refreshed, more youthful, and beautiful, healthy looking eyes. And the good news is my tips I'm going to be sharing with you today are not difficult or expensive. The first one is something I talk a lot about here on the channel, and that is facial massage. I'm really big on facial yoga and exercises, and those are videos you can find easily here on the channel. But facial massage, a gentle, quick facial massage, can help improve superficial circulation, help remove excess lymph fluid from around the eyes in the middle of the face, giving you a much more awake and youthful look. It's so simple to do. You want to make sure you use a moisturizer on your skin anytime you are doing any sort of massage because we don't want to pull the skin. So as I said, simple, so let's do it. This is a moisturizer by Neutrogena. It's hyaluronic acid based. It's their Hydro Boost Gel Cream, but you could use any moisturizer. You just want to dab a little bit of that on the skin to moisten and make it a little bit slippery. Then you want to use your fingertips and always start in the middle of the face, and we're always going to use an upward and outward motion away from the eyes and the middle of the face. So right here, we just upward, just gently massage all the way down to the jawline, from the nose outward, from the forehead upward and outward, from around the eyes, upward and outward, just gently for about 3 to 5 minutes. And you'll notice that my skin now has a rosier, lifted, refreshed look. Next up is to be sure to be applying an eye cream day and night. Now, I know there's a lot of conjecture out there. People tell you don't need them, you don't have to use them, but moisture is the key ingredient to keeping eyes looking youthful because we don't have a lot of oil glands around our eyes and they tend to be dry. We do not want our eyes to ever be super dried out because it's going to lead to crepey skin and it's going to help those dynamic wrinkles become static wrinkles much more quickly. Now, you can use your own moisturizer. That's absolutely fine. I always prefer and recommend eye care products that are formulated for use around the eye because the ingredient levels in those products are designed to be used around the eye at a level that won't cause irritation, but yet give you beneficial effects, and they tend not to migrate into the eye, which can be very, very irritating. Now, you want to look for eye skin products that are formulated to help lift, tighten, brighten, and improve the health of the skin around the eye. I have reviewed so many of these products on the channel. This is one of my favorites. This is a skin renewal eye cream by OneSkin. It's just packed full of peptides that actually help improve the molecular structure of the skin. But there are many of those. For those of you who have dark circles and puffiness, products that contain Ageless, that's that Botox in the bottle. It's a peptide that helps minimize muscle contraction just under the skin. No, it is not Botox. It will not give you Botox results, but it will help improve those areas by minimizing the depth of the dynamic wrinkles you make when you smile, laugh, cry, or what have you. In the mornings, it is great to apply a cooling eye gel. Those are products that help depuff the eye, lift and tighten the skin just under and around the eye. You can even use one of those gemstone rollers, chill it in the refrigerator. Anything to help remove and reduce the amount of lymph fluid under the eye is going to help with puffiness. Again, I reviewed many of these types of products here on the channel. I will, as always, put a link down below in the video description box so you can go check out my recommendations and any products we talk about here on the video today. So you don't need to write them down. You can just wait until we're done. Now, for those of you who suffer deep, dark circles, I have some answers for you for these. Dark circles happen to be more prevalent as we get older because, again, skin very thin around the eye, and as this thins out, the eye hollow becomes more apparent because there are a million tiny little blood vessels just behind the skin under our eyes. The two ways I want to talk about addressing dark circles is the use of caffeine or a caffeine serum, because caffeine helps to shrink those capillaries back away from the surface of the skin. No, it doesn't cause any damage, doesn't hurt the capillary. It just moves it back far enough to help decrease the look of those dark circles. Caffeine serums tend to be very inexpensive. This is a triple action eye-lift caffeine serum. Again, I'll put a link to this down below in the video description box. You can apply that caffeine serum in the morning and you will get about 6 to 8 hours of relief of those capillaries. And the great thing about caffeine serum is you can reapply it as often as you need. Now, I don't care if you're a guy or a girl, everyone needs to have a good concealer on hand, because there are going to be days where no matter what you do, dark circles and puffiness are just going to get the best of you and you're going to be frustrated. So the end of the day answer to that is to have a good concealer. Now, this is mine. You can see that it's green. Different concealer colors work differently on different colors of skin, pigment, and tone. So if your dark circles tend to be purple or blue, a yellow concealer is going to be better for you. If you're like me and your dark circles tend to have a reddish tint, then a green tinted concealer like mine is going to work better for you. And you always want to choose one that's just a tiny bit lighter than your skin, so it helps brighten and lift the area under the eye. Very simple to apply. I'm just going to dab this on this eye right here. You can use your little finger and just blend that in. Again, try not to stretch or tug at the skin. And you can see that it just made a difference right here on camera. But on days when nothing seems to work for those dark circles, a concealer can be your best friend. So that's for dark circles. But what if I have extra puffiness that just doesn't want to go away? Well, there are products designed to help tighten that skin, push back that lymph fluid, and give you a lifted look for up to 8 hours a day. Now, one of the ones I talk about here on the channel all the time that I use is Instatox. So if you had a night where you didn't get very much sleep, these type of products can work very well. They are made with ingredients like silicates from clay that work on the very surface of the skin to pull skin cells together and tighten them. Again, this one by Serious Skincare, Instatox, is one of my favorites. You just take a little bit of this product and it does not take much, just a tiny amount. Then you just dab it under your eyes like so. Just blend it in until you begin to feel that it's being absorbed and you can stop. Now, you're not supposed to talk while using Instatox to let it sit up, but we're doing a video, so I'm talking. But within a couple of minutes, the Instatox is absorbed and will work up to 8 hours, tightening and holding the skin firm, and you will feel it work. Now, the other great thing I like about Instatox, it's one of the few of these type of products you could actually mix some in your moisturizer or your eye cream and it will still do the job. Whereas a lot of other under eye tighteners, you have to use them alone. You can't even use them with foundation and they don't work and last as well. The next key for younger, healthier looking eyes is to take a look at your salt intake. Make sure that it's not high, that you try to lower it, because extra salt in the body means extra fluid, which means extra lymph fluid under and around your eyes. And many times we see when a person reduces their salt intake, not only do they hold less water everywhere else, but the face and eyes look much less puffy. So take a look at your salt intake and make sure you're not overdoing it. All right, now we're all guilty of spending lots of time on our devices. I do it too. I'm on one right now being filmed. So phones, laptops, iPads, what have you, that blue light that's emitted from those screens to our face is not helpful to our eye health
or our skin. There have been numerous studies linking blue light exposure to some of the same damage we see in skin that we see in photoaging from the sun. So it's a good thing to track and be mindful of how much time you're spending on your devices and using those screen materials to help block that blue light or that option on your smartphone. The less blue light hitting your face, the better your eyes are going to be and look. Now, in the beginning of this video, I said some of these would be very inexpensive, and they don't get any less expensive than these that I'm about to talk about. In fact, I am reaching back into the depths of skincare antiquity for these, but they actually work. Applying sliced chilled cucumbers to your eyes will work. Chilled cucumber helps reduce inflammation, refreshes and hydrates the eyes, and also helps shrink back those capillaries and reduce lymph fluid. So even though that technique has been around a while, it works, as does chilled tea bags. Remember, we just talked about caffeine. Caffeine is very helpful around the eye and making it look refreshed, shrinking back those capillaries, and really helping reduce those dark circles. Chilled tea bags, I even still use those today. Warm tea bags are also great if you have irritated, dry, or inflamed eyelids. A warm chamomile tea bag can help reduce inflammation and redness and irritation, giving you back refreshed, much better feeling eyes. But wait, have you heard about this one? Actually using russet or white potato slices chilled in the refrigerator on your eyes does all of the same things we just talked about that cucumber does, but because of the enzymes in the potato, it actually does a tightening effect. So chilled potato slices, especially if you have puffy eyes, will really brighten and tighten that skin for just pennies. And then of course it would not be me or my channel if I did not bring up and talk about the fact that you need to protect your eye area from the damaging effects of the sun. Now, sunglasses, and these are ugly, I know, they're ugly sunglasses, must be worn when you're outdoors. Two things. One, it protects your eyes and the skin around your eyes from the damaging effects of the sun, but it keeps you from squinting. And that's those dynamic wrinkles that will turn into static wrinkles if you squint all the time. So very important to protect your eyes from the sun using sunglasses and of course a sunscreen designed to be used around the eyes. Yes, there are such things. And again, I'll put recommendations for sunscreens down below in the video description box. You'll have everything we talked about here on the channel today. Just using one or any of these alone would make a big difference, but used together, they can really turn back the clock on the aging skin around your eyes. Now, the average person spends about $3,000 on skincare products a year. So that is sure evidence of how much value many of us place on taking care of our skin and looking our best. Unfortunately, most of us don't spend as much time paying attention to the neck and the chest area as we move through the years as we should be, until we begin to notice that loose, crepey, discolored skin showing up on the upper chest area and the neck. Now, the neck region is one of the areas that often shows the first visible signs of aging because neck skin is thinner, there are less oil glands, and as I said, many of us don't pay much attention to it at all. And a lot of those signs of aging come from accumulated sun damage over the years. My consistent use of sunscreen and good skincare practice starting in my 20s has paid many dividends, as you can see. And I'm going to show you my 7 easy ways to keep your aging neck looking smoother, firmer, and more youthful. First on my list is a good, thorough, yet gentle neck massage 2 to 3 times per week. And while that sounds very simple, and it is, it's how you perform this neck massage that makes all the difference. The key here to getting great results from a neck massage is to use the palms of your hands and to sweep upward and outward, never downward. We don't want to drag or pull on the skin either, so it's always a good idea to moisturize the area so that the palms of your hands actually glide across the skin. And you want to start mid-chest and go upward and outward, doing this, working your way up to just under the jawbone. Lifting lightly, and then you want to do the sides of the neck as well, upward and outward. You can do this for 2 to 3 minutes, 2 to 3 times per week, and you will be shocked at how it begins to actually lift and firm the area of the upper chest and the neck. Now, you can use any type of moisturizer. There are also products on the market today that I found to be very effective. I've reviewed several of them here on the channel. One of them is Let's Neck by Womaness. I really like this product. It's a very well formulated product that contains peptides and deep hydration ingredients to be used on the upper chest and neck area. You can see here it has a roller, and you're going to use the same type of upward motion that we just did in the palm massage massaging the areas of the neck with the roller. It's very, very, very gentle. Let's just massage that in, the rest of that. Again, I really like that product. It's very reasonably priced, but you can use your palms and your own favorite moisturizer. Works just as well either way. Now, I will put a link down below in the video description box for that product and any product we talk about in the video today. So you don't need to write these down. You can check that out when we're done. And speaking of moisturization, I often talk about on the channel how important for anywhere on the body really that we keep it hydrated, but the neck area again being thinner, more prone to sun exposure, and also that it has less oil glands. It is very helpful to 2 to 3 times per week to apply skincare oils to these areas, especially after a shower or bath, to help trap that moisture and add additional hydration. Now, there are a lot of great skin oils out there, but not any old oil will do. We don't want to use things like cooking oil or even coconut oil. I really don't care for that one for the neck area. Better oils to use in these areas are going to be sweet almond oil, rosehip oil, avocado, and even olive oil. All very good moisture trapping, hydrating skin oils. You can actually use those during that palm massage as well. So you can cook 2 birds with 1 oil. The third way to restore a more youthful, bright, even looking complexion on the area of the neck and chest are to use skincare masks designed to help alleviate hyperpigmentation issues. Many of these are the same that you would use on the face. This one is one of my favorites. I've talked about it on the channel many times. It is the Gleeman Clay Mask that's made with turmeric, and turmeric helps even out those discolorations on the skin immediately. The same day, you will see a lightening and evening of that surface layer of skin. A fabulous and simple, easy way to help firm and tighten the neck skin and at the same time, give it back that youthful, bright look. Now, you can do your own DIY masks for the neck very simply with certain fruits. Avocado mashed and applied to the skin for 5 to 10 minutes. Amazing. Milk mixed with honey and ground oatmeal. Another great pack mask for the skin, both the face and the neck. And one of the easiest, and perhaps one of my most favorite because it helps exfoliate the skin cells off the surface of the neck, is simply mashing a medium-sized banana, adding a teaspoon of honey and applying that to the skin and allowing it to sit there for 10 to 15 minutes and then rinsing it off. So lots of ways to do these lifting and firming masks. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You can use a professionally made product like the Gleeman product, or you can do these simple made in the kitchen DIY skin masks. Now, those of you who have been following my channel for a while have been expecting that this step would be in this video, and of course it's going to be, and that is neck face yoga exercises. I'm a big proponent of these type of exercises because I know that they work. I've been doing them since I learned them from my grandmother in my early teens. She was very avid about yoga, and the effects on her health, mobility, and beauty throughout all of her years were truly, truly amazing. Sold me on it right away. That particular video is probably one of my most popular videos here on the channel because, of course, it doesn't cost any money and it actually works. I'll put the link to that video down in the video description box so you can check that out as well. But very simply said, this exercise helps to tone and tighten the muscles just under the skin, helping to lift and tighten the neck, firm up the jawline. So I'm going to show you one set of this exercise if it's something you're interested in doing, and I highly recommend you check it out. Again, that link will be down below in the video description box. So let's quickly do one set of this exercise here in the video so you get an idea of how it works. It's very simple. I'm going to be looking at the ceiling, moving my chin upward toward the ceiling while using the swallowing muscles to tone and tighten the area between the collarbone and the jawbone. So let's do this. And you're going to want to hold that position for a count of 5, and then you're going to relax. And then you're going to do the left side and the right side. And relax. And relax. And what you will feel is a definite tightening of those muscles. You don't want to overdo it. Again, please reference the video on this particular exercise so that you can do it properly. And be sure to check out the comments in that video on how quickly this particular technique and exercise lifts and tightens that entire area of the neck and jaw. It works. The fifth way I'm going to share with you is another thing that I'm very avid about, and that is exfoliation of skin cells, old skin cells off the skin, wherever you have skin. So that includes the chest and neck, an area that's often really left off the plate when it comes to our skincare practice and routines. Exfoliation, very important. The trick is skin on the neck is very sensitive and very thin, and again, has very few oil glands, so we don't want to irritate it or damage it. We have to be very careful. So I'm not a big proponent of scrubs. However, there are ways you can do this 2 to 3 times a week like I do, right in the bath or shower using something like this. This is a Buff Puff sponge designed to be used on the skin with your face wash, your body wash, or what have you, to help lightly buff away those dead skin cells. Again, as we get older, skin cell turnover slows down. We have a buildup of dead skin cells on our skin that not only contribute to fine lines and wrinkles forming, but also prevent our skincare products from penetrating and working properly. So it's important to get those dead skin cells off everywhere on the body. I also use a shower towel by Goshi. This is a Japanese shower towel. It's designed with fibers to help lift off those dead skin cells all over. You can use it all over, including the neck. You want to, again, be very gentle in any sensitive areas when you're exfoliating with these type of products. We do not want to tear or damage the skin. We just want to lift off all those old dead skin cells so our skin looks amazing. Number 6 is to watch our posture. Very, very important. In these days of technology, we spend a lot of time, I know I do it too, on smartphones, devices, laptops, what have you. And unfortunately, when we do this and lean down, we're putting up to 50 pounds of pressure on the skin and muscles in our neck. And that can lead to all sorts of things, neck problems, muscle problems. It really leads to a lot of pressure on the structure of the skin, causing neck folds, dynamic wrinkles that become static wrinkles, and they're very difficult to get rid of, as many of you know. So when you're using your device, it's super important to watch your posture. Try to train yourself to look at devices at eye level, adjust laptops, your desk, so that you're looking forward and not down all the time, and you'll be shocked at how much this area improves. This is not just an issue for those of us who are older, it happens in younger folks as well. I know I get asked about it every time I'm in public. Young people in their late teens and their 20s asking me what to do about the lines in their neck. And again, it all goes back to that tech neck. Watch your posture. And then, of course, pulling all of this together is to make sure you include your chest and your neck, and while we're at it, your hands, in your skincare routine. Moisturization of the skin is everything, because hydrated skin not only looks better, it's healthier. It helps those old dead skin cells come off more quickly, naturally, and it helps stop those dynamic wrinkles from forming the static wrinkles that we all see as fine lines and deep folds in neck tissue, and none of us like that. It also helps improve that textured look. Crepiness always is going to respond to extra moisture of the skin. So it's very important to keep those moisture levels up in the skin. And of course, cap it all off with that sunscreen used every day. Make sure you reapply it when you need to. Keep that skin protected from the sun. Even if you have sun damage now, using sunscreen will help your skin reverse a lot of that on its own, and it's going to help your other products that you use for your neck work better. All of these steps individually going to make a difference. Used all together, going to give you fantastic results. You're just going to be shocked at how much younger and better the skin on your neck and chest can look. An ageless face, is that even possible? Well, I guess it really depends on what your definition of ageless is. The number one thing that can make us all look older is the structural changes that happen in our face as we age. That has to do with collagen production slowing down, losing some of that bone mass in the face, and of course, that subcutaneous fat that helps hold everything together, giving us that nice, youthful, plump look. So the unfun part of that is that as we lose that, we start to see those eye hollows, hollowed out cheekbones, makes our ears, noses look larger, and of course contributes to fine lines and wrinkles, all of which can make us look far older than we are. But there is some good news. There are some things you can do, both non-surgical and of course surgical, that can slow down and even reverse the deflating aging process. Now, most of us don't feel that the aging process does us any favors, but with some care and attention, you can look really good at any age. And as I said in the introduction, there are definitely some things that you can do that can really make a difference in how that process plays out. So why does facial volume decrease as we get older? And yes, it's true, it's a little bit different for women than it is for men. The first culprit is a decrease in collagen production, which happens to all of us. We've already lost about 10% of our collagen by the time we're 30, and it declines in an ongoing basis as we get older. And while both men and women do experience facial volume loss, hormonal differences play a role in how that occurs over time. It's been shown in many studies that both men and women have about the same trajectory of facial volume loss up until the year 50. Then it accelerates quite a bit for women due to menopause. That is when you ladies who are watching often start to notice a flatter face, the loosening of skin, and losing that definition in your jawline, around your lips, and of course, nasolabial folds begin to become more apparent as we lose that volume in the face. And for both sexes, that is because we begin to lose some of that fat that's been in our face for many, many years, and we begin to see some changes in the facial skeletal structure that leads to a very different look for us as we get older. Now, a lot of those things we cannot control, but there are some external factors that play a big role here that you can control. First of all, sun exposure, and we talk about this on this channel all the time. Accumulated exposure to UVA and UVB light helps speed up the degradation process of the collagen you do have in your skin. That's what leads to fine lines and wrinkles, age spots, and that sagging, textured appearance that we see on the skin and neck. Something to consider the next time you think about skipping your sunscreen. As I always say on this channel, sunscreen, sunscreen, sunscreen. Have I told you, you need to wear sunscreen? Next up is smoking. And while I'm not going to beat a dead horse here, we all know there are a lot of things about smoking that aren't good for us. And most people associate the facial aging that we see with smokers to that repetitious smoking of the cigarette. But it really goes much deeper than that, because smoking robs your skin of vitamin C, the powerhouse nutrient that helps protect the collagen you do have and your skin cells, but is responsible for the manufacture of new collagen cells under the surface of the skin. So that is why we see that wrinkling around the mouth and the hollowing out around the eyes. Dropping the smoking habit has been shown to increase the levels of vitamin C in your skin, again, leading to an improvement of overall skin health, and of course, keeping you looking younger. Just one more reason to quit, along with all the other reasons that we already know. The next culprit, we see this a lot in my profession, and it's been in the news because of the drug Ozempic, rapid weight loss. When the body begins to lose weight rapidly and indiscriminately burning off fat cells, you're going to lose volume and your skin can't keep up with that rapid weight loss. That is why yo-yo dieters struggle so much with sagging skin. And of course, Ozempic being used as a weight loss drug targeting mostly women. Women already having a struggle maintaining that fat and substructure under their skin over time, now doing a drug that takes weight off very rapidly, leads to women seeking out injectable fillers to replace the fat that they lost in their face, which leads us to the next set of things you can do to replace and improve the volume and look of your face. First of all, hyaluronic acid fillers. Now, hyaluronic acid is something your skin produces naturally, but as we get older, just like with collagen, we produce less of it. Hyaluronic acid fillers like Juvederm and Restylane are very popular because they give the skin an immediately plumped look. However, they do nothing to improve collagen production and have to be replaced over time. It can get quite expensive and don't always look exactly the same depending on who does the injections or where, so it can be a bit daunting, but there are alternatives that may be better for you if this is something you're seeking out. Biostimulatory injectables. I know, big scientific word. But what we're talking about here are polylactic acid injectables that actually help the skin produce more collagen. So when you get these injectables, you don't get that immediate lift and fill that you do with the hyaluronic acid injectables, but your skin is able to produce rather quickly its own collagen, and the value of that is that effect lasts up to 2 years. So far less expensive, far less needles, far less invasive, and can give you much more natural looking results. Another way to stimulate collagen production and volume back in your face is through a technique that we know as microneedling. Lots of controversy over microneedling because usually what people think of are these little rollers with these needles, these tiny little needles, as you can see here, going across the skin, causing micro injuries to the surface of the skin, turning on your skin's own healing biology to produce more collagen. And it does work. It does help lift, tighten, and firm the skin. And I'm going to submit, if you're going to try microneedling, go to a licensed professional first. have the treatments done in office before you try to do them on your own. There are also some available serums and plasma-rich treatments that can be done at the same time. That can be very beneficial. I myself had moved on to micro infusion devices like this one. This one is by QURE. It's a little vial where you put a serum. It's got little gold needles. You simply stamp the skin yourself. The needles are a certain length. They cannot go any deeper and they won't rip or tear your skin, delivering serums deeper into the dermis like growth factors and beta glucans that can really improve facial volume safely and in the comfort of your own home. Now, I've talked about microinfusion here on the channel many times. I will put a link down below to that video and this device for you to check out if that's something you're interested in. Another treatment that's very effective for a lot of people is radio frequency skin tightening or RF therapy. Now, these in-office treatments, they work very, very well. They send radio waves deeper into the skin past the subcutaneous fat layer to help all of those layers generate healthier cells, more collagen, tighten up and firm elastin, and really give great results that continue to improve over time. Now, there are in-home devices. Again, if you follow me here on the channel, I've reviewed a ton of those. They're not going to give you the same immediate results as an in-office treatment, but over time, if you're consistent, you can get the same effect. So radio frequency therapy, another way to tighten the skin on the face and jaws, even the neck. You can actually use that just about anywhere on your body where you have loose skin issues. And then it would not be me if I did not bring up the fact that there are certain supplements that we now know you should be adding to your diet to help support the collagen that you do have, help your body produce more of it, and keeping not just your skin, but your joints, your fingernails, your hair in top-notch health form. And I myself take collagen peptides every single day. You can get that supplement as bone broth, which is equally effective, but human trial studies as recently as this spring proved once again that there is a measurable increase in collagen levels in the skin when someone takes collagen peptides for an 8-month period. I myself tested these out back in the beginning. I wasn't sure they worked. I did them for 8 weeks and began to see a noticeable difference in skin hydration. Of course, nail and hair growth, always going to benefit from that. But the big bonus that we now know is that it does actually help your body produce more collagen. The other supplement that I talk about for both men and women that's very important in helping to preserve the structure of your bones and your collagen is vitamin K2 plus D3. Something, again, I take every day. It helps to make sure you're getting enough vitamin D, plus the vitamin D3 helps the K2 move calcium around in a more efficient way in the body, keeping it out of areas where we don't want it, like our arteries and our brain tissues, and available for use for those strong, healthy bones and healthy collagen levels. All of these non-invasive pathways that we're talking about today, used alone or together, can really help preserve facial volume, reverse some of the loss, and get you feeling really good about how you look. If after trying these steps you're still not happy, then it's always good to consider surgical procedures. There are fat grafting procedures and, of course, the facelift, which has been around for a very long time. I always recommend you try to wait as long as possible to have those type of procedures, because they're not procedures you can repeat over and over again without some really interesting outcomes, as we've seen with some of the celebrities who have had too much plastic surgery. And of course, I want to say here about supplementation that you check with your doctor to make sure that they know that you're taking any sort of supplement, because it may interfere with medications. And if you do decide to opt for a minimally invasive or invasive surgical procedure, please be sure it's a board-certified dermatologist or plastic surgeon that is doing the work. I hope you guys found the information in this compilation video helpful. If you did, please like it, share it out, let me know down in the comments below. And for even more ways to roll back that clock on skin and body aging, be sure to check out this video I picked out for you to watch next. Thank you guys so much for watching and supporting my channel. I appreciate you more than you could ever know. Stay beautiful, subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you over on that next video.